Hiring developers is a challenge that many founders face. We made a list of typical remote developers ranked by results and price. Chances are that you have worked with one of them already. Small disclaimer, if you're a developer, please don't watch this video. This is a video for people who hire developers. So if you're a dev, please skip to the next video. I make this video because I often get asked by people who want to build a software, who's the developer they should hire. That's why I made this list, and after this I also give you a criteria on who to select in order to get the job done. But this topic is not easy. I've spent years hiring, firing, managing and evaluating the developers all across the world. In order to make this video, I spent countless hours digging through my notes, through old interviews with developers, and I spent hours on Hacker News in order to find the best examples. And one more disclaimer, this video is not about cultures or countries, because as much as I wanted to make a clickbaity video, I just cannot, because I found these stereotypes in multiple countries already. So there's really no way to tell that you will always find this person in that country. Our first person is the under the radar guy. They pitch a very low salary that almost looks like a steal. And then they're always happy, they're nice with the onboarding, they're always friendly, and then they fail to deliver on time. And you wonder, why is that the case? You dig a bit into that and you find out that this person actually takes a long time to finish a task, even though they sounded really smart. What eventually happens is that this person likely has many more jobs, up to 4 jobs even, and they want to rank up their salary in order to pitch low and try to fly under the radar. The second person also has a low salary, but this is legit this time. They honestly are looking for a job that is normally paid. It's just that in their country, it is usual a normal salary. And in your situation, coming from a richer country, it just looks like a steal. But these people are legitimately there to make your life better, to work on great stuff. The only drawback I would see here is that at one point, these people, if they notice that they're really, really good, they might jump ship for a better or higher paying job. In this case, it's very important you can either upgrade the salary right away, you can bring them into your team and make them really part of your operation. You can also incentivize them and really show them a way how they can step up and become a highly paid senior engineer in your organization. The next person we're talking about is the foreign enthusiast. These are people who often don't speak so great English, but they're technically very skilled, and they are likely to have their first online job or first remote job working for you as the foreign company. So these people are technically great, but the onboarding takes longer because the English is not so good. And usually they have a harder time finding another job in a foreign country just because the English is not so good yet. So what you can do is give them a language class and make sure that you put them on very difficult problems so that they can hone their skills and become really good at what they do. People who don't speak English so well, they need everything in written communication. You need to specify the tickets and make sure that they really work according to your specifications. What I noticed is very important as well is to ask them to make a technical sketch of something and give it back to you, and then you can review that. So yeah, it might make sense to bring someone else in who is a bit technical in order to make sure that those technical sketches are sound. Person number 4 is the family guy. The family guy is someone who worked at a local company somewhere in a remote country, and that person had a hard time just communicating to work. Maybe the salary was okay. They're usually on the senior level, so they're quite good at what they do. And they just want to spend more time with the family. And they can do that by going on a remote job. So these people usually have an office at home, they have a good setup, and they're usually always there. They clock in and clock out, and they have experience. I love to work with that person because you have a lot of stability and you can give them tasks that they're responsible for. One drawback sometimes is that these people who are senior devs, they sometimes don't get challenged enough. So you take at face value what they tell you, but maybe sometimes that is wrong. So I would like to pair these people with another person, ideally from a Western country, in order to make sure that they get challenged enough. And the salary can range from anywhere between $2,000 and $4,000. Person number 5 is the overcommitted. And that's a person who usually already has a job and they are very honest about that. And they tell you when they have other meetings and they're just going to go about their day job, and then in the evening they're going to work for you. Evening or morning, depending on where they are. These people are technically very good because otherwise why would you hire them? If you want a full-time person, you would not hire them. But what sometimes happens with these people that they have too many plates to spin, and then the individual results fall over and they're not as good as you expect them to be. So if you want to work with that person, make sure that you check in regularly, that you have good time logs and metrics to hold them accountable. And it's also good to set them tight deadlines so they have the urgency, because if the other job is more urgent, your thing will always have a lower priority. Person number 6 is the outsourcer. That's a person who never intends to work full-time for you. They might do it for some time, but in the end, they want to bring in someone that they hire to replace themselves. Some of them are very honest about this. They tell you right away, I'm going to look at the project, and then they will find someone else to replace them. But some of them don't do that. They tell you with the honesty of their heart that they will work for you, and it's totally fine that they have five other projects and 20 employees. They're going to be there for you. I've seen this many times, and I've never worked with them. If you're experienced in working with them, please send me an email. I would love to know. I was always hesitant because it never sounded like a good idea. However, I got the pitch dozens of times. The hourly rate is usually anywhere between $20 and $50, and they're also usually very easy to bargain on their hourly rate. Of course, because they're not working themselves, they hire someone for less than half the rate. And person number 7 is the digital nomad freelancer. This is where I was after 2018 when I started my freelance business. And those people usually are very technically skilled because they need to have good relationships with their customers because they're working on a freelance basis, so they continuously need to ship. The hourly rate can range anywhere between $50 to $100, but also more if the stack is very specialized and if they're really good at what they're doing. With digital nomads, you have 2 problems. One is distractions, because usually these people are on Bali or somewhere in Asia, that they are distracted by what else they're doing. They're building their own products, or they're going on trips, they're going on parties. The second problem is time zones. And the problem is not so much with Europe, because if you're in Europe, in Asia, this usually works. Or maybe the digital nomad is in Africa or in South America. Usually these things work then. But if you're in the US and the freelancer is in Asia, then you are likely to have only the meetings concentrated in 1 or 2 hours in your workday. I can recommend working with a digital nomad freelancer if you're able to pay for it, and if you know exactly what you want to build, and you have a very slim feature set that you want to get done. Because if you have not too much to work on, then this person can really focus on quality. You don't want to put a digital nomad freelancer on a long project because it's going to eat up your resources. And now to the question, who should you hire? It would be great if I could just tell you, yes, you should always go with the digital nomad freelancer. But that's not the case. What you want to look out for in any case, any kind of software you're building, you want to find the person who has done it already. And any one of these people that I just presented you could be that person. Because if someone has built something already, then they're able to do this again and do it better for you. However, I would say that if you want to build a small software business, the digital nomad freelancer is probably the person who can help you the most, because they should be very good at building products and focusing their time. But let's say you want to build some kind of technology, some kind of API, you would find that technology anywhere in that list. Anyone who has worked with that thing before that you want to build would be the right person to hire. So in the end, it depends entirely on your situation. If you want to discuss that, book a call with me, go on my website, and you would find the booking link there. And if you want to know how to build your MVP faster, watch this video.